If everyone is healthy, who do you think is the key to this lineup?
I think if everybody's healthy, I think the big key for this lineup, and this may shock some people because I think people may expect me to say Lindor or say Alonso, but I'm actually going to go with Starling Marte. I thought he was the MVP of the team for most of the year in terms of everyday players last year. I thought he was absolutely fantastic when he was healthy. Disappointing when he was not healthy at the end of the season. And I think if he's healthy, I know he's getting up there in age and he's right at the end of his prime, but I still think he's a heady player, still can play solid defense, is a good hitter, can be reasonably aggressive on the base pad still. I think Marte's key because I think he provides a professional hitter, a lot of balance to the lineup that you can. I'd probably put him number one. I also think Jeff McNeil number two. He had a career year last year, fantastic year. Glad to see him get his money, but I really will say Marte because I think Marte is that third hitter that if he's going can put a little bit of fear into opposing pitchers. I will say I'm a little bit worried about the Mets offense. I look at this lineup and maybe I think the unknown is Escobar, and that's the reason why. And you feel like they may need one more bat that you feel like you really can trust. I don't worry about Lindor. Don't worry about Alonso. We kind of know what those players are and what they can do. I actually don't worry about McNeil either, or Marte. Like I said, if they're healthy, I don't worry about those guys. But it's just where's that other hitter? And is it Canna? Who was solid for stretches last year? Is it Escobar? But I think if Marte's clicking and healthy, he does the most for the lineup to me out of anybody in terms of being a professional hitter, in terms of the defense, in terms of his ability to drive in runs. I think if he's healthy, and I'd love to see him healthy for the Mets, I think he's kind of the most important person in that lineup.
I 100% agree with you. That's why I've said if they're all healthy, who is the key? It's definitely got to be Starling Marte. I mean, there's no question about it. We saw every time that he was injured, the Mets offense seemed to have gone into a slump. And then in September, they kind of free fall. And it was all because Starling Marte wasn't in that lineup. He provides power. He provides average. He gets on base. He could steal the occasional base when his legs are 100%. So he's kind of that, I felt like he was kind of that 5-tool all-around guy that if you got 162 games out of him, that he would kind of provide you somewhat with what kind of Carlos Beltran meant to this team, offensively and defensively on the base paths. So yeah, I 100% agree that, Starling Marte is definitely the glue to this lineup. But they, like you said, they are going to need to get offense because 7 through 9 kind of was Death Valley for most of last season until Eduardo Escobar started hitting. So they're going to have to, turn this around offensively and be consistent like they were for the latter half, for the beginning half of the season.